We present a case of vitrectomy for Aspergillus flavus endophthalmitis in an immunocompetent male. 42-year-old male presented with sudden diminution of vision of the right eye for 4 days. He underwent a lumbosacral spine manipulation and a epidural anesthesia 5 days back. On examination, there were exudates in the posterior vitreous with feathery margins. Underlying areas of deep retinal hemorrhages and vasculitis were seen. After the relevant investigations, which turned out to be negative, the patient was taken up for surgery. A 23-gauge pars plana vitrectomy was undertaken. Vitreous biopsy was done, taking care to see that the material is collected from the area of exudates in the posterior vitreous. After vitreous biopsy, core vitrectomy was done. Following core vitrectomy, posterior vitreous detachment was induced as per plan. Posterior vitreous detachment is being induced in stages to make sure the underlying areas of necrosis were visualized so that there could be no retinal breaks. PVD induction in stages is being completed and a complete vitrectomy was ensured. There were exudates at different levels on the pre-retinal surface, intraretinal and subretinal, as well as in the choroid. Attempts were made to remove all the pre-retinal exudates during the surgery, some of them in the posterior pole, and many of the exudates were along the retinal vessels that were removed with the silicon tip flute needle. Enough care was taken to see that wherever there is an area of necrosis, the exudates were not aggressively manipulated. That could result in a retinal tear forming, and some of the areas the exudates were densely adhered to the retina, they were left behind. Interface vitrectomy under air is being done to remove as much of the peripheral vitreous and vitreous base as safely possible. Apart from increasing the field of view, there is improved visualization of the peripheral retina when the vitrectomy is being done under air. Air highlights the ring of vitreous corresponding to the vitreous base, eliminating the need for scleral depression. KOH mount of the vitreous biopsy showed fungal elements, and subsequently growth came to be Aspergillus flavus. All attempts were made to look for a systemic focus. There was no evidence of intravenous drug abuse. Blood and urine culture, MRI, brain, spine and paranasal sinuses were negative. Post-operative day 1, the patient received intravitreal voriconazole after the report of KOH mount, and it was followed by interval of every 3 days until all the retinochoroiditis lesions healed completely. Swepsource OCT done on day 9 showed lesions at different levels of retina and choroid in various stages of healing. Raj retinitis lesion, temporal to fovea, showed hyperreflectivity in the retina with a bowl of hyperreflectivity in the choroid. Hyperreflective dots were seen in all layers of retina. OCT imaging of the lesion was used as a guide for treatment endpoint of intravitreal voriconazole injections. A total of 4 intravitreal injections were administered. Lesions healed completely with loss of outer retinal layers and foveal thinning. Final visual acuity was 20 by 120 at the end of 3 months. This is a rare case of Aspergillus flavus endogenous endophthalmitis in an immunocompetent male with a good visual outcome. Thank you.